Hello, students. Welcome back to literature. You're probably wondering, why is she wearing the same thing again? That's because I made both my videos for this week on the same day. That's why. I just put it out on the day that you guys need it. So on the last video, we're doing our map of Europe and a map of America. You should be done with your map of Europe. You you outlined all the bodies of water, the inside of the bodies of water. So, for example, down here you have your caterpillar hairs right here on the bottom going up. These you have going down. That means in here, this is all water. And it should be labeled Mediterranean Sea. You should have done that last week. The Atlantic Ocean here, that should have been, I should do that in a wax marker. That should have been done last week also. On Tuesday, you were supposed to do caterpillar hairs for Germany and draw a line with your ruler, a little line in Germany and written in small letters, write Germany in print, not cursive, and also for Switzerland. Switzerland is very small, so your line probably would have went out from Switzerland, going out this way, all right? If you have trouble doing that, if you come in on Friday, I can help you with that, all right? Okay, make sure you have your name and date up here on this side, all right? And the last thing you should have done was written on the back, Conrad Buff was born on January 15, 1886 in Speicher, Switzerland. On the first two lines, the second two lines, or three if you had to use three, Conrad Buff studied art in Switzerland and in Germany and then immigrated to America in 1905. And this is going to go in your multi-subject folder. You're done with this. You're not going to get it back again until you get your binder or your notebook, and it's going to be in your notebook. All right. So you're done with that. If you have any questions, call me, text me. You can take a picture of it and send it to me. All right. So the other thing you were working on was your map assignment number 3, which was the map of America. You should almost be done coloring. The water on the Pacific Ocean side, water on the Atlantic Ocean side, the Gulf of Mexico. So water on both sides, on this side and this side. Okay, this is the Gulf of Mexico. There's no water here, no water here, other than some lakes. But we're not going to worry about that country. We're just worried about America. Okay, you should have, or in the process of coloring, doing caterpillar hairs for California, Wisconsin, Ohio. Label that. Okay, you're almost done. The only thing that you're going to do today and tomorrow is you're going to turn it on the back side and you're going to draw, I would say 3, maybe 4 lines if you write small. You're going to draw 4 lines with your ruler. So you get a ruler, draw some lines in the back, make sure your lines are nice and straight. They're not crooked like this or like this, okay? What I do is I align my ruler and my paper. I put them like this. Let me turn it around so you can see. See, this is my ruler sticking out. If my ruler is aligned, I don't know if I can show you this. See how it sticks out more on one side? I need to pull it back, and the bottom, see, they're both just barely sticking out. Okay, if it's nice and even, then I can draw my line like this going across. Okay, so once you draw your 3 or 4 lines, I want you to draw 1 or 2 and then separate, leave a gap. See how I did? I just did 1. I left a big space and then I did 2. 1, we're going to write something about Mary, and the other one on the bottom, something about Conrad. All right, and I already wrote it for you. Let's write. You're going to write on the first line, you're going to write Mary Buff was born on April 10, 1890 in Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, before you start writing, especially those of you that are younger that came from the beginner class, in this class, you're going to learn to make marks and grammatical marks and learning how to write sentence structure, okay? So this is one sentence, all right? Nathan, William, David, and Josias. This is one sentence. You start here and you end here with a period. You probably learned what a period is in beginner class. Now you're going to learn other marks. Every time you start a new sentence, it's always uppercase, always uppercase. In this case, we start with someone's name, Mary. People's names always start with uppercase. So if Mary's name was not in the beginning, it would still be uppercase. Her last name is uppercase. Mary Buff was born on, the months of the year are always uppercase. Okay, in Spanish they're not, but in English they're always uppercase. So we have an uppercase A. She was born on April 10. Notice we have a comma. A comma is, it's like a period. It's a little dot with a little tail. It's very small. I did it big so you can see it from where you're at. Okay, it's right on the line. It's not floating up in the air. The comma tells me that when I'm reading, I'm going to pause for a little bit. I'm going to stop for just a bit. Watch. Mary Buff was born on April 10th. I stop for a little bit, then I continue. 1890 in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a long word. We have, it's Cincinnati is the name of a city, so it's an uppercase C. Notice I have another comma. That means I'm going to pause. Watch. Cincinnati, Ohio. See how I stop for just a little bit? The comma always goes next to whatever it is that you just wrote. So I just wrote Cincinnati. Right after the I, it goes right here. It doesn't go over here or over here. Excuse me. Ohio is the name of a state. Uppercase O. I think uppercase O has a little loop. I finish my sentence, so I write a period at the end, right next to the O, and it's right on the line. It's not floating up in the air. Okay, and I can see there's a glare for you guys. I think that's better. Okay, Cincinnati is a long word. Cincinnati. All right, so I'm going to leave that up for just a second while you pause it, write it out, and then I'm going to continue. After you pause it, I'll continue on, and we're going to write the next two lines for Conrad. So go ahead and pause that, write it. Okay. All right, so now you're going to write on the next two lines, or three if you wrote three. We're going to write something about Conrad. So on the back of your map, you're saying why you chose these states. We chose Ohio because that's where Mary was born, all right? She was American. Conrad was not American. He was, do you remember what he was? He was Swiss. He was Swiss. He was from Switzerland. That's why we did a map of Europe, and he studied in Switzerland and Germany. So we identified Switzerland and Germany, but then he moved to America. He came to America and he moved to Wisconsin, lived there for 1 year, and then he moved to California. So that's why we identified these three states in America. So on the second two lines on the back, you wrote first what we wrote here about Mary, where she was born. Your next two or three lines, you're going to write Conrad Buff immigrated to America in 1905 and settled in Wisconsin for a year, then moved to California. Now let's look at the sentence before you start writing. Conrad Buff is both uppercase because that's his name, all right? Immigrated, that's spelled I-M-M-I-G-R-A-T-E-D-T. I'm sorry, not E-D-T, E-D. I was thinking of the phonogram, ed-t. Immigrated. He immigrated to America. America is uppercase. I don't know if you can see that crossing the T and dotting my I. He immigrated to America in, I'm going to make this bigger so you can see him, 1905, and settled in Wisconsin. These words, Wisconsin, California, they're on your paper. This paper here, they're spelled out on there. Ohio, Wisconsin, California. He settled in Wisconsin for a year, then moved to California. California is uppercase because it's a name. And we finish our sentence with a period. There's a glare there. There, you should be able to see it. So I'm going to leave there so you can pause that, write that, okay? Once you have written that, you're all done. You're all done with maps. So since we're done with our maps, you should know where Switzerland is on the map of Europe, where Germany is. You should know which side, which ocean is to the, let me see, think of the map, to the left of Switzerland and Germany, where the Atlantic Ocean is. You should know what this map of America looks like. You should know where California is because we live there. We live in California. And you should know where Wisconsin and Ohio is. You should know that there's two oceans, one on each side of America, okay? This is the Atlantic Ocean, the same ocean that we labeled on Europe. That means Europe is over here because it's the Atlantic Ocean. You go across the Atlantic Ocean, you end up in Europe, okay? This is the Pacific Ocean. So if any of you guys have gone to the beach, this is the ocean that you go to when you go to the beach, the Pacific Ocean. So this is where Hawaii is if you ever want to go. Hawaii's in this direction, all right? So we're all done with maps. So next week we're going to learn about the 5 elements of literature. And the week after that we will probably start reading our literature book, The Apple and the Arrow. So those books will be going home in about a week, all right? So any questions, call me, text me. If you want to send me pictures and ask me how you're doing on your caterpillar hairs, go ahead and do that and I can help you out. Or I'm here at school usually until at least 2 o'clock, sometimes a little bit later, but you have to call me ahead of time if you want to come and get some extra help. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.